out for a walk today. We have a new member with us, just out for the walk, and it's a little Bruin, the Black Lab. You can see Bruin's on a line. We have Cory Curtis with us, who you might remember from one of our other videos. We did a things that new dog owners should know video, and I'll actually post a link. I'll put a card up in the top right-hand corner for that. But we were talking today with Cory a little bit about some of the things that he's doing with his puppy, some of the things that he's found helpful, some of the things that maybe he should just eliminate from his routine. And what the idea or the notion came up of dog parks. And Cory made a great point that it's such a nice way to burn off some of your dog's energy, to go out and be able to let your dog burn off some steam. And in a lot of situations, people feel like their dog is getting socialized to other dogs, but that's not necessarily always the case. And it's something that we talked about with Cory today. So, Cory, let's just talk about the convenience of a dog park for you. Like, why do you feel like you want to take Bruin to the dog park?
Definitely right now, just because we live in Oakville, little condo, no backyard, so dog park's easily convenient for us.
Totally.
There's nowhere else to go.
Absolutely, yeah, no, and that's a pretty common thing. People feel like their dog needs to get out and go for a big run, and sometimes the dog park is a great place to do that. And sometimes you need to be a little bit more aware when you're in a location like the dog park. Kale and I can tell you, numerous times we've had students come in and say something like, I had my dog at the dog park and he got attacked. And you certainly don't want your dog to be a guinea pig for a lot of these socialization things, getting them socialized to other dogs. That's not the best way to do it.
And I think you can work both ways. There are some dogs that will go to the dog park, and if they're already sort of maybe a softer or more sensitive type dog, it's really easy for them to get bullied. And the average person doesn't necessarily know how to read dog body language, because it sort of takes a long time to learn something like that. So often there's things that are going on between the dogs that us humans don't understand. The dogs get it, but we don't understand. Or the opposite can happen. If you don't have a dog that will be overwhelmed, maybe your dog's the bully and you don't even know.
Yeah.
So they're portraying, some bully type behaviors, and if they're getting naturally reinforced for that behavior by how the other dogs react, that sometimes can pose problems as well. So there's two sides of the story that you need to be aware of when it comes to dog parks.
Yeah, so let's talk about some things that you can do, that you can avoid the dog park, but you can do to tire out your puppy. So a couple ways that you can exercise your dog without taking to the dog park are things like doing retrieving.
Yeah, retrieving is a great thing to do because it's something that you can do that also involves you and the dog. Another sort of downside to doing the dog park thing is your dog sort of goes away and they have fun and they run, but it has nothing to do with you. In fact, you're reinforcing them for ignoring you because they're basically playing with the other dogs. So retrieving is good because it tires them out, and you're doing something together. It helps build your relationship, and it's just a fun thing that you can do. Even if you just do like a little bit a couple times a day, it can be good. Just the hard part about doing retrieving is you need to train your dog to retrieve first. But we have a video for that.
We do in fact have a video for that, and I'll post a link right up here somewhere on either side. Yeah. The other thing that's a lot of fun to do with your dog, and a really great way to build motivation for your recall, is a restrained recall. And we'll show you a clip of that in just a moment. But essentially what you do is you get a helper, or you can even do it yourself with an extra long line, but you get your dog really excited and really focused on a toy or some food or something that gets them really motivated, and then you move away from them and call them to you, and have them chase you and make it really fun and exciting. And if you have something like a tug toy, when they get to you, you can tug and have lots of fun once they arrive, and really make it all about getting to you, and the really gratifying part being that experience tugging with you.
Yeah, and you don't actually have to do that one outside. I know when Beeline was a baby puppy, before she really could retrieve reliably because she was so young, Ken and I would sit at opposite ends of our hallway with some of her breakfast or her dinner, and we would just call her back and forth up and down the hallway for, I don't know, like 10 times each or something. And it was a great way to enhance her response to name, her recall, and then she would relax and go to her crate and sleep after that. It was just a fun way to do something together, and again, take the edge off a little bit.
Another thing that people are often asking about is socialization, and you can see that we've got Bruin out on a long line. This is our pack of dogs. We know how all of them will behave, and we know that if Bruin starts to push the limits of what's okay and not okay, that our dogs will let him know that that he's sort of overstepping his bounds. But we would never ever try this with a dog that we don't know, or that the owner says, oh yeah, my dog's fine with other dogs, because you know, we really can't trust it, and it could be so damaging to your dog if something were to go wrong.
Yeah, so socializing, usually when people hear that word, they automatically think that means that their dog has to go and learn to play with other dogs, but there's so much more to socializing a dog that's important, like taking them different places, exposing them to different sounds, different sights, different things. We live a life where our dogs, we live in, not the country, but
rural areas.
Kind of the country.
Yeah, access to.
So, our dogs don't really hear big trucks and, a lot of things like that, so they're used to sort of one thing. So what we try to do is make a special effort to take our dogs away from here, just to keep exposing them to new things, whether we take them for a walk in the city or whatever. Not that we do this all of the time,
right,
but just to expose them, especially while they're young. And again, we can post a video about a little trip we took to downtown Burlington with Beeline a month or so ago, which was just a great experience for her and for us too. So that's part of the socialization. And then in addition to that, as Ken was saying before, if you are going to let them socialize with other dogs, it's very important that you have an idea that those dogs are properly vaccinated, and that your dog is going to be safe that way, and B, that they're going to be appropriately matched with your dog. And I don't mean by breed, I mean by their mind and their personality and their temperament, because that often will help your dog develop great social skills and enhance them. And I think Bruin's getting a really great dose of that today. Our pack is pretty even keel. We have some dogs that are really interested in other dogs, some dogs that could really care less. And Bruin's already learning which dogs, will be the most playful with him, which dogs he has to be more respectful. And it's so cool to see them sort of communicating with each other. And of course we have the long line on, so that if we need to step in and help Bruin learn something a little bit more, then we can do that really easily without screaming and yelling. And it's just, everything is really calm and really controlled.
And a lot of fun for both Bruin and all of us.
The dogs are getting really tired, which is awesome for Cory and for Ken and I.
Yeah, for sure. So in an interesting twist of fate, we didn't come down with food poisoning after undercooking our chicken fingers tonight.
That is an interesting...
We're lucky. I think
whatever you said.
We dodged a bullet there. I think it was a pretty good day though. That was a lot of fun. Taking all the dogs out and then working Bruin, do some restraint recalls, as well as allow Bruin to socialize a little bit with our dogs, because our dogs are so steady.
And I'm really glad we could help Cory and Jen with that, because they seemed pretty stressed out about having this new little puppy and wanting to do all the right things with him, and wanting to go through the process of socialization and stuff, but not really knowing exactly how to do that, and maintaining a young crazy puppy at the same time. So hopefully we give them some ideas that make him a little bit easier to deal with, but he's such a nice little dog.
Oh, he really is. Yeah, so much potential there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, he's great.
And just to reiterate, I mean, it's the convenience of having a dog park nearby. It's alluring. You want to just take your dog there and let it run around and burn some steam off. But I
think the idea of a dog park is pretty good one, but from the dogs and humans relationship point of view, it's not really a good idea.
Especially at that age.
Yeah.
With a younger dog.
Very impressionable age.
Yeah, for sure. He really needs to develop some reliable skills before you give him that much freedom, and before he gets to choose another dog over you.
Yeah, I think that we're really lucky that we have so many dogs, because our dogs, I guess, naturally sort of understand to have good social skills and things like that, because they're used to one another. But we also are really careful that we don't allow our dogs to completely bond to one another before we go through that process with one another. Bee's almost 10 months old now, and I wouldn't say until maybe, would you say 2 months ago?
Yeah, a month ago.
Maybe not even a month ago, was she even allowed to go for big walks around the property or play and wrestle with the other dogs and things like that. And that might sound really mean, but she was still learning about how to listen to me and how to be bonded with me. And she got tons of exercise and tons of attention. My God, the dog got so much attention.
Yeah.
But it was just different. It was more developing the relationship between her and I, and was less worried about how she would get along with the other dogs. I already knew she was a well-rounded dog and that she liked other dogs. I could tell from her behavior, so that just wasn't important to me. And I'm so glad, because now she will choose me over the pack of dogs, and then she'll also play happily and be a big goofball with them too. So
it's really a nice balance. It's the right balance. That's really what you want from your dog, that they're social enough with other dogs, they understand how to interact with them, but ultimately they're coming to you for everything that's good, for sure. What are you smiling
I
at?
don't know, I just have I have the giggles.
Oh, you do have the giggles. We've tried to record this several times, and it always ends up with Kale bursting.
I don't know, I think I'm tired, but for whatever reason, every time I look at Ken, I just want to laugh. Because he's so funny.
Is it this right here?
He's so funny.
Is that what's so funny? If this is your first time with us, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if this is your first time on our vlog, make sure you check out another episode. More than anything else, we want you to make sure that you do something awesome with your dog today. So on that note, I'm Ken.
I'm Cal.
Happy training. Bye for now.